Good morning. My name is Tom Keating. I'm the Vice President of Government Relations and Community Affairs here at Boston College. Thank you. And I would like to welcome everyone to Boston College for this combined Neighborhood Improvement Fund and Community Fund Grant Ceremony with Father Leahy and Mayor Marty Walsh. We are very pleased to have such a wonderful turnout from our partners at the city, the BPDA, the elected officials, the BC Task Force, and all of our grant recipients this morning. I would like to congratulate the 5 Neighborhood Improvement Fund grant recipients and the 14 Community Fund grant recipients on their awards that will fund a number of beneficial programs in Allston-Brighton, including playground renovations, summer camps, children's recreation and music programs, landscape beautification, educational programs for teens, sidewalk and accessibility improvements, public art, recognition of local veterans' sacrifice and service to his country. In total, 19 organizations will be receiving approximately $360,000 in funding from the 2016 NIF Fund and 2017 Spring Cycle of the Community Fund. I would now like to welcome to the podium a man that I have had the honor and privilege of working with for the past 16 years, Father William P. Leahy of the Society of Jesus, President of Boston College.
If I can, I'd like to add to Tom's welcome and thank you for being present today. So much of what happens in any city, but especially Boston, is the result of partnerships. And we are an institution that very much benefits from our relationship with the city of Boston, its leadership, especially Mayor Walsh, but all of you who come to this event, but you're part of our neighborhood and the wider community. And I see the young students here wearing their nice tops and looking so bright, and I say that's the future. And what we want to do in our efforts at Boston College is be a partner with the surrounding community and recognize individuals who have invested themselves in making this neighborhood a better place. Also recognize the history and the heritage that we have. I think about General Casey and his sacrifice for our country. His son is with us today. How we can do so much together, but we need to be mindful of the community and the heritage. And so what we can do together, I think, helps make for a better community, but it also calls each of us to live lives that show respect for one another, that we welcome individuals who come from different backgrounds, different perspectives. That's what makes, I think, Boston such a great city, and that's why Boston College is delighted to host you today and be part of these grants and allow you to use your energy and talent to do even more good. So I'm grateful to you for being part of today, and I want to make sure we keep our partnership very strong and alive. So I say welcome and thank you for being with us and enjoying this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Leahy. Before I introduce our next guest to the podium, I'd like to welcome and also introduce people who make this happen, our BC Task Force. Joining us today is one of our co-chairs, Annabelle Gomes, Jeannie Woods, Janet Trombasio-Fair, Donald Carroll. And we also have one of our great neighbors, Mrs. Mulligan, who's here, who lives, she's in immediate abutter. So could we have a nice round of applause for her? There's also a neighbor who's the chair of the Boston Planning Development Agency who lives at the foot of our hill, Mr. Tim Burke. I'd like to now, and it's my pleasure to introduce a very good friend of mine, someone I've known for a very long time. He really needs no introduction, the mayor of the city of Boston, Marty Walsh.
Thank you, Tom. Let me just start by thanking Father Leahy in BC. I drove around campus. It was a little early today, so I drove around campus and I was just looking at BC, and I started thinking about, in my time as mayor, the relationship between all the colleges in Boston, but in particular I'll talk about BC today, and the grants that are here, but also the young people that from our city that get a chance to go to Boston College. We're getting more and more kids from our city going to Boston College. It's an important opportunity because we talk about our college university system in Massachusetts. We brag about it, and we brag about how great it is, and we brag about how 250,000 kids come into Boston, the greater Boston area every year, and they get educated and they leave and they go back home. And oftentimes we take for granted, I think, what's under our own nose. And I want to thank Father Leahy. I want to thank him for his friendship and commitment, because he's a guy that he'll pick up the phone, we'll talk, we'll have very straightforward conversations, not about Boston College, but about the future of education in the city, the future of really creating pathways for young people. So, Father, thank you for your leadership and your friendship and your guidance and what you provide here in the city of Boston. I want to thank Tom Keaty, we've been friends for a long time, and I honestly probably wouldn't be standing here as mayor of the city of Boston if it wasn't for Tom Keaty, so thank you, Tom. Nancy Grill, the chair of the Allston-Brighton BC Community Fund, thank you. Everyone on the task force, thank you. City Councilor Mark Siomo, another person who spends an awful lot of time working morning, noon, and night for not just his community, but the entire city of Boston. He is the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee at the City Hall. That's a big deal. There is a lot of committees in City Hall, and they're important committees. But probably the most important committee is Ways and Means, because it's a partnership on how do we move our city forward and laying out the pathway. And I want to thank Mark for his great support. Thank you, Mark. I want to thank Captain Russell for being here with us as well. Thank you, Captain. St. Greg's boy from Dorchester over here in Allston-Brighton, so I want to congratulate you on that. The young people from the Jackson Man Community Center, thank you. How about you stand up so we can clap for you? Just about every grant given out today will tie back to kids one way or the other. When you think about that, and again, thank you for the task force, and thank you to Boston College. I'm almost done thanking people. A person who's no stranger to anyone in this room, somebody who I served with as a state representative, and then I had the honor of working with as the head of the Boston Planning and Development Agency, Brian Golden. And I have the honor of recognizing General George Casey, Jr., Army Chief of Staff from 2007-2011. I want to thank you, General Casey, for being with us today. Where are you right here? Please, General, stand up. And all the other veterans. And I'd like to ask any other veterans in the room, please stand up to be recognized. Just, I know Brian, stand up. Stand up, sir. I am grateful that one of these grants that we're giving out today will fund a plaque at the City of Boston, Smith Park in Allston, to honor General Casey's father, Major General George W. Casey. So we are honored here today, sir, to have you in our presence. I also want to thank, come on in, guys. I also want to thank the VFW Post 669 and the Boston Parks and Recreation Department for teaming up in advance of to advance these ideas. We have an incredible military tradition in our neighborhoods, from high-ranking national leaders to Army Reserve officers like Allston's Brian Golden, and to young people like the JROTC looking at joining up. We need to do all we can to recognize this and celebrate this, and that's what we're going to do here in the city. I also want to recognize Rob Rometti. I don't know if Rob's here. Is Rob here? Rob, please stand up. Rob is the new headmaster of Brighton High School. I want to thank Rob. Rob's accepting a grant with Artists for the Humanities to work with students on sculptures in front of Brighton High School. It will reflect the passion of the students and the teachers there, and it's also a school with a lot of heart that's going through a transition, deserves our support. And I'll tell you, of all the high schools I go into every day, and I go to a lot of them. When you go to Brighton High School, I know that we're working on fixing some of the challenges we have there. There is passion in that school. Their basketball team is a nationally ranked basketball, is a statewide ranked basketball team. There's a lot of heart in that school. So I'm asking the community of Brighton to wrap your arms around that school as we move into the next level, because we will turn that school around. And we won't. Rob will and the teachers will. Thank you very much, Rob. Today we're announcing 19 different grants. I could give a speech about every single one, but I'm not going to because you don't want to hear me. And Annabelle will probably throw me out if I start talking. So I want to congratulate you as a group. As I look around the room, and I know some of the organizations that are getting grants, I want to thank you because you do great work. We not too long ago, some of us were at the West End House on another grant proposal idea day. You do some great things here in the community and really creating opportunities. It's about young people and about moving forward. And also today we're remembering a hero who grew up in this neighborhood. We're also going to put something special at our high school to recognize what we're doing in high school. So again, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you as a group. You reflect the spirit of the Allston-Brighton community and the strength of our city. I want to thank Boston College, and this great university lifts up the local communities around it. So I want to thank BC for everything that you do and going to continue to do. And I want to thank Mark Siomo, as I said before. This is a nice day for us in this community in the city of Boston. So again, thank you. I'm done talking because the little guys want to get in there and eat some stuff. Come on back here, Tom Keating. I'm staying up here.
I'd like to just ask Father Leahy, Councilor Siomo, and the mayor to stand here. We have a few recipients, but I'm doing 5, and then Nancy Groke will be called up to do the remainder. The first one, I'd like to ask Allston Village Main Street's Emma Walters and Scott Madeline to come up. They're going to receive a check for $36,000 for a tree pit project in Allston Village Main Streets. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's the more important one.
The second recipient is Artists for Humanity in Brighton High School. We'd like to invite up the new headmaster, Rob Rometti and George Mallett, for a check for $30,978 for public art at Brighton High School.
Surround Father Leahy.
Come right here. I want to stand with you. We're going to no high school.
Okay, right there. Yeah, one more, please. Hang on right there. Couple right here. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
The next group is the Jackson Man Community School and Council. I'd like to call up Rosie Hanlon, Katonia Gaines, and also recognize the headmaster of the school, Andy Tewitt. Andy is a relative of Tom Keating's through marriage, and he's been a Jackson Man, and I had nothing to do with this vote. So this is a check for $100,000.
Thank you.
The next recipient is from the Department of Conservation and Recreation, and joining us today is the Director of A&F for DCR, Jim Montgomery, and also Lisa Barstow and Erica Aubin, if you could join us. This is for $59,000 for tree planting and other site improvements around the Chestnut Hill Reservoir. The next one is the fifth one. It's for the VFW Post 669 and Parks and Recreation. And I just want to say that Phil Guilfoyle, who's the post commander, and my parents were members of Post 669. Phil Guilfoyle has been a stellar neighbor, lifelong resident of Allston-Brighton who served in Vietnam. And joining him is General George Casey, the United States Army, to accept $100,000 that would go towards an amphitheater at Smith's Park in Allston. And also joining us is Colonel Brian Golden, Director of the Boston Planning Development Agency. And now I would like to introduce the chair of the Allston-Brighton Boston Community Fund, Nancy Grilk. My job is done. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Boston College, for hosting this event in this beautiful building. It is a wonderful community resource. And thank you, Father Leahy, Mayor Walsh, and Mark Siamo, for your commitment to our neighborhood and for your support of the Community Fund, which funds up to $3,000 per program twice per year to provide critical resources for youth and senior programs, community building, and beautification projects throughout Allston-Brighton neighborhood. $1.8 million has been distributed to the community over the past 24 years with immeasurable impacts. And I would like to also acknowledge the Community Fund members, Ann Mulligan, Jerry Quinn, Bill Mills, and Bob Bialka, our treasurer, who volunteered time to carefully review each and every application through the 2-year annual funding cycles. And we are pleased to announce today $35,115 in 14 wonderful programs and projects, and congratulate all the recipients who do so much for our community every day. So first up is the Allston-Brighton Substance Abuse Task Force for the 5K Walk for Recovery. The goal of this event is to create awareness around substance abuse treatment and recovery in the Allston-Brighton community and across the city. The project will help educate people about available resources, as well as reduce stigma surrounding people with substance use disorders. And next up is the Boston Police Department for School and Street Safety Halloween Walk. Officers of the Boston Police Department will purchase items such as coloring books to use as teaching tools when working with children in schools and camps. Funds will also be used to purchase trick-or-treat bags and light-up wristbands for approximately 1,800 children who participate in the traditional Main Street's Halloween Walk. Next up is Brighton Main Streets, and this is for the directional seating and signage project for Brighton Common events and farmers market. Funds will be used to provide temporary directional signage for Main Street sponsored outdoor neighborhood programs on Brighton Common and for the farmers market in Oak Square. Eye-catching banners and sidewalk signs will attract attention and bring even more people to these great events and provide seating at the market. Next up is the Charles River Conservancy for the Conservancy volunteers. Some of the major volunteer projects include continued maintenance and repairs to Herder Park Public Theater, work in the Memorial and Elliott Bridge Gardens, painting park benches, covering over graffiti, picking up litter, and cutting back plants and that surround the Herder Park moat. Next up is the Civic Conversation mission of the project is to create a signature event series to spark conversation, provide an opportunity for neighbors to meet in a social atmosphere, and to learn what topics and concerns are for people in our neighborhood. There will be no formal agenda, just conversations. Next up is Franciscan Children's. This is the Adaptive Sports Program. The goal of the program is to give kids with disabilities the opportunity to participate in team-based physical activities that keep them healthy and that are fundamental to building their social skills and self-esteem. The program provides access to safe, suitable, and affordable programming for Boston area children with disabilities. Next up, Friends of the Faneuil Branch Library. This is funding for educational science programs. Funding will help expand the Faneuil Branch science programming offered twice a month during school vacation week to children ages 6 to 11. Programming includes science presentations as well as hands-on activities where children can apply the scientific concepts and processes. Next is the Horace Mann. This is the Horace Mann Sesquicentennial Archives Project. The grant will be used to acquire resources to help research, organize, catalog, digitize, and display a variety of important and historical artifacts that have been collected throughout the history of the Horace Mann School for the Deaf. The majority of these artifacts are currently not accessible. Next up is the Jackson Mann Community Center and After-School Program and Preschool Program. This is for the STEM Learning Program. The project will give the preschool and summer programs an opportunity to include science, technology, engineering, and math activities to meet the needs of children and integrate the grade-appropriate activities that will help mitigate summer learning loss. It will also provide children with special needs the ability to sharpen their skill set. I'm sorry. Got so excited about the program.
Thank you. Thanks to the kids, too. Thank you.
Next is the Oak Square YMCA. This is for the Summer Teen Development Program. The Oak Square YMCA is committed to keeping their doors open to all middle and high school students throughout the summer months by offering a variety of programs that address a multitude of issues that impact the lives of teens in the community. Teens participate in sports, leadership training, health and wellness workshops, gardening, and other great programs. Next is the Presentation School Foundation Community Center, and this is for music and more for children. The Community Center, in partnership with Boston College Music Program, will deliver subsidized music instruction to children aged 2 to 4 and 6 to 10 for elementary instruction in the Brighton community through group piano and violin lessons held one time per week in the community room at the center.
Thank you.
Next is Tenacity, and this is for summer tennis and reading program. This free program is offered in July and August for children ages 6 to 16, focusing on tennis, fitness, and reading. It provides a safe place to play and an enriching learning environment for city youth, keeping their minds and bodies active during summer recess. Programs are held in Ringer, Rogers, and Cassidy playgrounds. Next up is the West End House Camp. This is for Project Camperships. The grant will help support boys from Allston-Brighton to participate in the West End House Camp in Maine for a 2-week period, providing them with an opportunity they would otherwise not have. The camp was founded in 1908 and continues to provide kids with a chance to play, swim, learn new skills, meet new friends, and just have fun at camp. And we're going to move right into the West End House Girls Camp. Also, this is for camper scholarships. This grant will support girls, everyone's at camp. The grant will support girls from the Allston-Brighton ages 7 to 17 to participate in West End House Girls Camp in Maine, providing them with an opportunity they otherwise would not have. Campers participate in activities that build character, self-confidence, and youth development through recreation, exercise, creative arts, sports, team building, and water activities. And they have fun. So thank you.
Great. The mayor has just given me some instructions for the Jackson Man Community Group to exit now and to go to the front entrance for a photo with Father Leahy, the mayor, and Council Siomo. So everyone in orange, if you could stand and that this concludes our program. We want to thank you all for coming. If you want to stay and have some refreshments, please do. Thank you very much.